Hey guys, today's from the install bay. We have a 2017 Toyota Highlander in for a radio upgrade. So stay tuned. For this particular customer, even though he's already got a full touchscreen in the dash, he doesn't like it. It doesn't feel right for him. It won't play movies. It doesn't have Apple CarPlay. So he wants to take it out and put in a Kenwood. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take this thing out. We're going to retain the factory backup camera. We're going to retain the factory USB and aux, which is located down here. He doesn't want Sirius XM, but we could retain it if he wanted to. We're going to retain the steering wheel control, so he has full function there. Anything else I'm missing?
Yeah, pretty much.
So basically all the features he has from the factory he's going to have. Plus, we're going to put the iDataLink Maestro piece in here, so he's going to get things like open door warnings, tire pressure sensors, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to it. So the parts we're going to use today are this guy right here, which is the UTO2, which this allows us to retain the factory USB. We're also going to be using the STO2. Now the STO2 is a pretty cool new piece from iDataLink that allows us to do two things. One, it allows us to retain the factory satellite radio antenna. And two, it allows us to retain the factory navigation antenna. It has two ends depending on what radio manufacturer you're going to use. We're also going to be using a Maestro RR and the corresponding Toyota harness, the TO2. Let's go ahead and open this. Now the TO2 harness is going to give us the ability to retain the factory backup camera, which is this guy right here. This is the ODB2 port for any data needs. And then this is the main wiring harness right here. The Maestro RR is a brain box. And then in this is going to be the cables that allow us to flash it, which is the USB. The cables that go from the RR to the radio, which is this guy right here. This is a power plug that you won't need because on the T-harness it already has that built in. So you can set that aside. Comes with the main wiring harness. There again, it's redundant. If you get one of these T harnesses, it's already going to have that, so you don't need the big main wiring harness. This is for an add-on speaker, which this car doesn't need, so we're not going to be using that. This is the steering wheel add-on, which we have to check the instructions. So for this particular install, we just have one cable going from the RR to the unit. So we won't need the add-on steering wheel interface. All right. And we won't need the auxiliary interface either. So really the only thing we needed out of that box is this guy here, which is the one that goes from the RR to the unit. So we have some extra parts. Now I like to put all my extra parts that I have back into one bag. That way, if by the end of the installation I'm missing something or overlook something, I know everything is in this. Does this have JBL or anything like that in it? And does it have parking assist?
They don't have JBL.
You should be able to just look on the bumper and see if it's got those 4 little round circles.
No, they don't have nothing.
Thank you.
So, it looks like we have like 3 different USBs. This, and I don't think the bottoms are, but just those 2.
Really?
Yeah. We have 3.
Well, no, but those are supposedly just for charge.
And 1 is for actually data.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay. Let's, where's the air conditioner? Is that a piece all, oh, it's a huge air conditioner. Is the airbag light in that?
No, the airbag is right here.
Huh.
So,
can we just unscrew it?
I can.
Yeah, let's unscrew it, because it looks like we can cut this piece of tape. Okay, so where are those connectors?
Down. Right here, in the back.
Are they down?
Yeah. So, give me the other side. Right there.
Let's turn the car on. Alright, so this is charging. This shouldn't do anything in
Source. And let's see if they...
see, nothing's lit up there. Because I think all this does is charge.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this one is the standard.
Yeah,
That'll light up.
okay.
Unplug these. Let's just get charge there. Put the phone to go to sleep after 30 seconds. Wake it up. I still got charge. Okay, so the thing we're testing here is this car has 5 USB ports. Now, we only thought one of them was actually going to be controlled from the radio. We just wanted to test that to make sure, because we don't want to go and pull the radio out if we can't retain the USBs. We can retain the factory one that actually interfaces with the radio, no problem. We just wanted to know if we had to put some other device in order for the other ones to work. Toyota likes to make this giant octopus looking thing that comes out of the dash. It's covered in all this plastic and stuff like that, which is cool. It's insulated. The problem we've run into is that when you're trying to put this in, plus the smart harness, plus the brain for that, some of these things you just don't need. So what we like to do is remove this and then retape it all individually. So if there's a harness we don't need, we can just get it out of the way. Let's go ahead and plug everything in and see how it looks. So this is what we have, and then these ends here This does not have a factory amplified system, so we will be cutting off these RCAs right here. We're going to be attaching our Kenwood harness to this end. We're going to need all these harnesses. So yes, like any other time, you can put it in just like this and be good. I, on the other hand, do not like doing that. I want to move this further away from this because it's really tight in the dash. So we're going to go ahead and cut this thing apart and clean it up a little bit. Now let's take a quick moment and talk about these. Now, a Kenwood doesn't have any AV inputs on the back that these can plug into, so we're going to need an adapter for this. Kenwood sells the CA-C3AV, which is the RCA to aux jack, so that you can plug this into the radio. As the radio has an aux jack on the back that says iPod/aux. This is going to plug into that. So what we want to do is go get one of those so that we can retain all this. Alright, so we have our harness all made up. So we're going to go ahead and put some heat shrink on this so that it won't pull apart. This is the one that's going to plug into the factory USB to allow him to have CarPlay and Android Auto. We're going to take the second one, or USB number 2 in this case, and we're going to just dump that in the glove box. He really doesn't need it for anything, but we don't want to just bury it in the dash. We want him to still have some form of access to it. So, but this way at least, you know, it's not going to pull apart. Anytime you have these little clips that go onto the dash panel that hold them in place, do yourself a favor and put a little glue on there. Don't expect these things to hold in as well as the factory ones do. And if you ever have to pull it back out for whatever reason, you don't want these things shooting through the dash. So Metro dash kits do both a blessing and a curse. They give you a little bit of gap here that allows you to see like into the radio, both on the top and bottom, which, you know, is kind of a bummer. So what we like to do is take some of this foam, it's about 1/8 of an inch thick, basically a weather stripping almost, and just put it on the top and bottom of the radio. And what that'll do is that will, you know, it's dark in a car, so I mean, chances are good no one's going to see behind the dash, but just in case somebody's staring there looking, you don't want them to see into the dash, you know, because that looks kind of cheesy. So we'll just put this on there, and this will fill in any of those holes that might be caused from the dash kit. So now when you have it on there, you're not going to see any gaps. So bonus. So these are my least favorite style kits, and basically what these do is you screw the brackets onto the radio and then this snaps on in front of it. The problem with that is lining this up so that these are in the right spot so that it's in the dash. So basically what you want to do is just kind of pick a spot where you think it might be, and then I'm going to put it in the car, and then I'm going to put it into the car and end up taking it in and out probably 2 or 3 times. It's going to drive me crazy just to get these right. But you got to have a starting point. So got it in 2. Now the other thing you want to do is go ahead and grab on this particular one, since we are hooking up a rear camera, go ahead and take this little dicky off, and we're going to tape these up so it's one solid bundle as opposed to 3 that can do this in the dash and one of these get cut off. Since they are going to be taped up, I like to also label them on the ends. Alright, so now we're at the point where we're ready to put the harness into the car. The first thing we want to do is plug in the backup camera. Then it says to plug in the ODB2 connection. Go ahead and plug in the auxiliary. Now we want to plug in the radio itself. Plug in the iDataLink cable to the radio. On this radio that's located way over here. Plug in the camera, RCA. Go ahead and go back and plug in the power. Plug in our GPS antenna. Plug the FM antenna into the radio. We have our 2 USBs. We'll go ahead and plug those in. And plug in, last but not least, the auxiliary. Now at this point what we like to do is just look at the cabling, because we plugged them in, is go back and move any cables that need to be moved so that they're not getting tangled up inside of other cables. Alright, so I think we're good there. So last but not least, you want to plug in your Maestro box. Alright, so we have everything plugged in here as well as here. We're going to go ahead and test the radio before we put it in the dash. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do the setup. Yeah. Color. Panel color. Blue. Okay, blue it is. Camera, we'll go ahead and turn that on. Rear camera interruption on. Parking guidelines, we're going to turn those off for now. I think it has them from the factory. OEM setup. I don't think we need to do anything in there yet. Turn the demo off and then select finish. Select agree. Alright, so let's test out the steering wheel controls. Alright, we got volume up, we got volume down. Alright, we got seek up, seek down. Let's hit mode. Mode seems to be working. Oh, hold this for me for a second. Let me grab the phone. And we got CarPlay plugged in. Alright, go ahead and try the voice recognition. Hey, what's the weather like today?
Today, the temperature will range from 53 degrees to 73 degrees.
Alright, so voice recognition works. Let's check the calling. Press voice recognition again. Call 5-Star Car Stereo.
Should I call 5-Star Car Stereo on Gulf 2 Bay Boulevard?
Yes.
Calling 5-Star Car Stereo.
Alright, we'll try hang up. Call me. Alright, so end it. Alright, so all our steering wheel control buttons work. Let's go ahead and go into the menu and check out the camera. So our camera is on. Right now we have our back door open. It does have the factory lines, so we're good there. We'll go home. Go into settings. Come over here, come over here, and we'll check out car information. All right, so we've got our tire pressure, we have gauges. Those seem to be working. These weren't a big deal for this customer. We just want to make sure that they're all working. So at this point, we know the radio is doing everything it's supposed to do. We've tested pretty much everything we need to test. We're gonna go ahead and get all this stuff into the dash and button this thing up. So for this part, we're pretty much done. Yeah, we're done. All we're gonna do is rearrange some of these icons here, just to make it look better for him. And with that being said, we're done. If you wanna know how to rearrange the icons, we do have a video on how to do that. We got a video on everything. Which, Fernando, what does that mean?
Well, also, thank you for watching. You guys can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
I like that segue into wrapping this thing up, right? We do these things 5 days a week. We hope you enjoy them. If you do, please subscribe. It means a lot to us. It really does. If there's a video you would like to see, just go ahead and ask. And if it's something we can do, we'll do it. If it's something we can't, we'll still think about doing it.
Yeah.
You know, we got a whiteboard full of fun stuff to do. Yeah. All right, you guys, you have a great night, and we will see you when?
Later. Bye.
That's right. Get this guy a cough drop.